Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Seven Sisters Pubcast once more, coming to you live and direct from the Seven Sisters Pub, Toulouse, France, Europe. So Bianca's here again.
Hi.
It's me and Bianca,
We're
the power couple. Is that what you just said?
No.
I thought we just said the same thing at
Oh
the
my
same
god,
time.
could you imagine? No, I
That'd be
said we're
great.
back.
Oh, the power couple are back. So it's been a couple of episodes since we were together.
You may have seen me with our lovely friends Skander and Nina
Skander and Nina, yeah. Hi Skander, hi Nina.
prior to the drag show, which was a roaring success.
Oh, it was fabulous.
I was really pleased with
fabulous.
that.
I would like to talk about that a little bit. Then I hadn't really thought about talking about that, but let's mention that. Really good.
Just Sisters.
So the first instalment of Just Sisters was a roaring success.
Thank you to everyone who came.
Thank you to everyone who came. Massive thanks to Nina and Skander for their epic performances.
AKA Saga and
Saga
Baron de Bagnols.
Saga and Baron de Bagnols. Yeah, they were
Total babes.
both fantastic. Both fantastic.
Cheers, by the way.
Yeah, cheers. So what was the song? I can't remember. What was the song that Saga sang? It was from Rocky Horror Show.
Sweet Transvestite.
Sweet Transvestite from Transylvania, whatever it's
Oh
called.
my god, the look was just fierce.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
And it's such an amazing song as well.
Check out the
Absolutely
Instagram
love
for
it.
some photos. It was amazing.
Yeah, really good. So big shout out to you two. Yeah, thanks for that.
The last time we were on, we also had just bought our single duvets.
Oh God, yeah.
The new sleeping system.
And we did say that we were going to give you an update on that.
Because you've been on the edge of your seat, I'm sure.
I'm sure everyone's been waiting for
How
that.
has Paul and Bianca been sleeping?
Yeah,
The answer?
like a log.
Very well. Very well indeed. Honestly, it is the future.
Game changer.
Well, mainly because... So we bought 2 single duvets to replace 1 double duvet. And mainly because if I go to bed first, I am a light sleeper. So when you come to bed, it would always wake me up because I'd be holding all of the duvet. And now I don't
You'd be holding the duvet hostage.
quite, yes.
That's what you'd be doing.
But now I don't wake up at all when you come to bed. And I'm feeling better rested. Still not enough sleep, but better sleep.
It's been
great.
fantastic. The only thing I would suggest, we are just creeping into the winter now, and with a single duvet, you can't really wrap yourself up in it if you're on your own. Do you know what I mean? You can't. It's just got to be on top of you. You can't cocoon yourself in a single duvet.
That's why we could have a cuddle.
Yeah, but why would you want to do that?
He hates me.
No, it's just in bed. It's all over the internet. It's the joke, that all couples are doing on Instagram. When you go to bed, quick cuddle, quick kiss, and then we roll over and we do our own thing, i.e., we go to sleep.
Yeah.
Because what was it the other day? Like we both woke up, or you woke up, and you wanted a drink, and I had my bottle of water, so I gave you my water. Blah blah. Blah. We had a sip, and
We all had a sip.
we all had a sip of water, and then let's go back to sleep. But what you wanted to do was like spoon, and your face was like there, and you wanted to fall asleep like that. And I just think that is just not logistically possible, is it? Like, how are we supposed to do that?
I don't know. But we're improving. But I'm just saying, if it's going to start getting cold, you know where I am.
Bit of body heat,
For a
eh?
bit of warmth.
Yeah. So anyway, how have you been, darling?
Fine. Yeah, just chilling, really. Counting down until the next holiday. Christmas.
We're going to drive home for Christmas, aren't we?
Driving home. Christmas.
Driving over Christmas.
That's going to be on repeat for the 14 hours of
Who's that
driving.
by?
Oh, fuck knows, yeah.
Let's find out who that's by, because I've got no idea. Driving Home for Christmas. Because it is a classic, isn't it? It's one of the better Christmas songs.
Yeah, God.
Driving Home for Christmas.
I don't really want to talk about Christmas. It's all quite depressing, really. It's only just getting into October.
Chris Rea. That's who sings Driving Home for Christmas. Well, we noticed that the time of recording, what's the date? 30th of September. And I've already seen Christmas mentioned on on adverts.
But it doesn't mean we have to. No.
No, I think it was DFS. I think it was sofas, and it was like, if you order now, it will be delivered in time for Christmas.
Yeah, but those there's like a thing, isn't it? Those sofa companies is a constant sale on. Is there ever not a sale on at DFS?
DFS, yeah.
Since I was born, there's been a sale on at DFS.
It's like in Crawley. I don't know if this brand is popular or known. It's like Eisenegger. It's like
Excuse me.
it's like EIS. It's like Schwarzenegger, but Eisenegger, like that. It was kind of like a weird, and it was the same as Tommy Hilfiger. Basically, it was like two blue bands, then a white and a red. You know, like the logo of Tommy Hilfiger. It was very much like that. And the second that shop opened in Crawley, it was a 70% off. It was like, well, it can't be 70% off because you've literally just opened, and it was always 70% off the whole time that shop was there.
Well, it's like places that have clearance, massive clearance. Everything must go for like 3 years.
For 3 years, yeah. Where'd I put my beer? That's down there. Now, anyway, I wanted to talk about a film that we watched.
Context, always context, because we got home the other night after Rum and Bass Volume 2. I was a bit, it was a great night. Paul DJ'd. Late 90s, early 2000s hip-hop and R&B was the theme.
It was just slammer. God, non-stop hits.
I'd had a few beverages, and so we got home and we decided to put on film 4. This film was on, which is a very trippy film as it is, but given it was like 3 a.m, bit pissed. You weren't, but yeah. And that film was
Mulholland Drive.
David Lynch's Mulholland Drive.
Masterpiece.
Yeah.
I'd never seen it before. But at the beginning, when we started watching it, I said to Bianca, I was like, I'm pretty sure I know that this film starts off kind of regular and then turns into like a LSD trip.
The wheels really came off. Yeah.
The wheels come off. But yeah. And I was like, I'm pretty sure I've seen this. I don't think I had it on DVD, but I think I'm pretty sure I've watched some of it or haven't finished it. And then maybe 20 minutes into the film, 25 minutes into the film, there's a rather graphic lesbian sex scene.
Graphic.
There's cupping.
There was boobs and very sexy, like kissing.
There was sexy kissing, and they definitely touched each other's tits.
Yeah. So.
And so I said, well, clearly I haven't watched this before because I would have remembered that because it came out 2001.
2001.
So we're talking, how old was I? 15, 16-year-old boy. You know, that is prime.
Peak.
That is peak.
Well, yeah.
Maybe a bit after peak.
Yes.
Because online porn wasn't a thing then, I don't think, early 2000s.
Well, that's what we were talking about, really. That sort of snippet would have been the most exciting thing that you could have seen as a little teenager.
And the scene was long enough for...
Yeah, we know. Long enough for, yeah.
So I was like, well, I clearly haven't seen this film before because I definitely would have remembered this scene. Naomi Watts with her boobs out. Snogging. Yeah. It's like I was saying to Bianca the other day, or after we watched it, that when I was young, Sky TV used to have like a magazine of like what's on, like the TV guide. And if there was a film on TV generally after midnight, like 1 a.m, and it was soft porn, it would have on the Sky TV guide After Dark. It would say After Dark in red letters, and we didn't have Sky TV as a kid, but my grandmother did have Sky TV. So whenever we used to go and stay at my nan's at the weekend, this is embarrassing. I'd try and find the After Dark films, and I'd sneak downstairs and I'd watch them literally after dark, the soft porn.
Have a wank?
No. I was like 12 years old, maybe a bit younger. Okay. It was just like
naughty,
naked women,
naughty, confusing feelings.
Yeah. But yeah,
it's normal, I suppose. Well, to be fair, that is far less problematic than I think kids of that age today having access to Pornhub.
Oh,
and
God.
porn.
God, yeah.
Like that, like it's okay to be a bit curious about a bit of boobs
it was just
and a bit of kissing. Yeah. But if your 12-year-old can access like you know.
Yeah. Oh no, we're talking like there's a couple of scenes where a woman gets
Yeah,
out of the
soft,
shower.
soft shit, yeah.
She's got her boobs out.
But it's terrifying that the thought of what kids can see now. It's completely skewing children's ideas of sexuality, what sex should be like,
Yeah.
what's normal, and not good.
Yeah.
What are you thinking about that?
I'm not thinking about anything. No, I'm thinking about because Shane Gillis talks about that sort of thing, isn't he?
What's new with you?
Oh, nothing's new with me. Nothing's new. We've recruited a new chef at the pub. That's new, I guess. Looking to develop the menu a little bit here.
Big things are coming.
The plan is a few more little homemade bits here and there.
Homemade is the way forward, so watch this space. There's going to be a lot of tasty shit coming.
Yeah. A few little ideas. I just want to introduce a lot more meat and a lot more pastry.
Yeah.
Preferably together. Meat and pastry.
You know what that means?
Pies.
Pies. Pie, mash and gravy.
See, that's very after dark, isn't it? That's very...
It's very after dark, and you're not going to find it anywhere else in Toulouse.
Pie and mash.
Proper pie and mash with onion gravy, do you know what I mean? Where can you get that here?
I mean, this is one of those...
Watch this space.
Yeah. It's also one of those things where it's like... I'd like to meet someone who says, ugh, no, I don't like a pie. Like, surely those people don't exist.
No, they don't. And if they do, they're lying.
I mean, even a vegetarian, right? A vegetarian...
It's not healthy.
Vegetable pie.
Yeah, I mean, it can be not super healthy, but it's comfort food. Pub food is comfort food.
Yeah.
You're not coming here for a salad. You're coming here for something yummy and delicious, especially with the weather turning colder. You know, come get some gravy.
Because gravy is life as well, isn't it?
Have we run out of things to talk about? I feel like
we?
we've got nothing more to say to each other.
There's nothing more to say to each other, is there? We might as well call it a day.
Oh, no. I've got one.
Oh, yeah.
The documentary I watched.
Oh, yeah.
Which was mental.
Tell us all about this mental documentary.
Bad Surgeon on Netflix. It came out a couple of years ago, I think. Or last year or something. I'd started watching it and you came home when I was halfway through the second episode, and I thought I could just catch you up. And because it's Netflix, they draw out a story which could be in an hour-long documentary into 3 hours, but you refused to watch it. But
I'm sorry,
it's fair enough. It's fair enough.
A 3-episode series, you're halfway through. I'm not going to just join in.
That's fine. Oh my god, it's so crazy. Yeah, 'cause I like medical scandal documentaries. It's like that one we watched, the guy with 1,000 kids, the Dutch guy,
Yeah,
the
that
sperm
was
donor guy, crazy.
really bad. Yeah,
But yeah, this fucking piece of work. Sorry. Your typical narcissistic demigod kind of god complex guy. Considered quite the pioneer and groundbreaking surgeon in experimental procedures on tracheal surgery. He was implanting plastic windpipes into patients' tracheas, plastic segments of windpipe.
that sounds like that procedure could be quite tricky. Or hang on, got a better one. I bet that surgery's slightly trickier than heart surgery.
That's it. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, he was really respected at the Karolinska Hospital in Stockholm.
Yep.
Where they, it's like the medical Nobel Prize hospital, like really, really prestigious.
Oh, yeah.
And powerful and influential in the medical sphere. And it was all bollocks. Okay, all the patients started dying. He wasn't experimenting on animals before the humans. He was using the humans as the guinea pigs, basically. And just really sad, yeah, like there's like people, these patients who had it done were, just horrific complications after the procedure, and they all died.
Wow.
Yeah, it's, and alongside that, there's also the story of his relationship with this NBC journalist.
But how does someone? So is he a qualified doctor, or is he just winged it?
No, yeah, he is a surgeon from Italy. Paolo
We'll find his name.
Yeah, Paolo Macamana.
Paolo McManaman. Steve's brother.
Who's
Steve McManaman.
Who's that?
He's an old English football player.
Oh. Real piece of work anyway, this guy. And yeah, there's this whole parallel story which then all kinds of kind of links to paint this really wider picture of what a piece of shit he is.
Is it?
Highly recommend. I haven't really spoiled anything because it's not really... It's known, but...
So is it similar to, say, like that guy, what's his name? Stockton Rush, sorry, the guy that did the Ocean Gate thing. So he is an engineer. He does know what he's talking about.
It's just cutting corners.
But he's cutting corners and he's like breaking the rules.
It's trying to be groundbreaking and pioneer, but at what cost?
Yeah.
Human life costs.
Yeah, because
I love a documentary. We love a documentary.
Absolutely can't get enough of them.
Yeah. I mean, Netflix, like I say, they do drag it out a bit. And it is like, you see memes and stuff making fun of kind of the Netflix. Like there's always it always opens with someone sitting down and like, so do I talk into this?
Oh yeah, they're getting comfortable in the chair.
Yeah.
Like, okay, right, so we're ready to go.
It's really like raw.
Yeah.
But they make a good documentary.
Yeah, they do.
What can I say?
They do. I get most of my documentary fixes from YouTube now, though.
Yeah, you're in deeper than the old Netflix.
I mean, deeper than Stockton Rush.
Right? Yeah, that's incredibly
I'm on
deep.
fire.
You really are. Yeah. I can't keep up.
Because that's a great story to dive into as well.
God. There's a documentary about that, not on Netflix, I don't think. On something.
Ocean Gate.
Yeah, there's Amazon or something, maybe.
Yeah.
Or Disney. We should watch that.
Well, it was that was incredible. The thing I loved about that is it's the whole rolling news thing. Like, so when it happened,
we were all gripped.
It's gripping, but nothing's going on. There's you can't. It's not like. I mean, this isn't going to sound horrible. If there's like a massive fire in a building, whatever. At least there's footage. There's going to have cameras on it. Like, let's take 9/11 for example. When that happened, it's like wow, like history, like happening before our eyes, live on TV. You got all this footage, and it's crazy. But the Ocean Gate thing, it was just like it's a submarine, and it's like we can't see anything. The BBC just had a shot of Newfoundland Harbour, 24 hours rolling news. But I was glued to it.
Yeah, but we were glued to it because everybody was so shocked at how scary it must have been for the people, and also there was this narrative that there was hope. There was this like we're trying to find them. I think people have said that all along they probably knew like this is fucked. Like they were not finding them. If
you see any experts in the field talking, I think James Cameron talked about it as well. And he was like, I knew immediately. Like there's no way that's still like that's just sunk to the bottom of the ocean or floated to the top.
This is hardly topical, but it is in terms of the story.
Well, it's just there's new documentaries coming out recently where they've been talking. Because one thing I didn't realize, you would never ever ever see me on a submarine.
No.
I got into one once that was on the surface in San Francisco. It's like an old kind of World War II submarine. Even getting into that, like it was a bit. I don't like this.
No, claustro.
But never ever closing the door and going underwater in one of those things. You
It's
must
so
be fucking
deep.
kidding me.
So deep. But it was really.
But what I was going to say is that a lot of the experts that came onto these documentaries are saying that there's never, since the 1960s up until that Ocean Gate thing, not one person had died.
Yeah.
In a submarine. Helicopters crashing all the time. Cars obviously crashing all the time. Like the submersible business is one of the safest ones, and I would never have guessed that. Would never, ever, ever have guessed that. I would have said that's well fucking dangerous.
Well,
no thanks.
It's the scariest.
Oh god, yeah.
But yeah, not necessarily the most dangerous. But yeah, I think it was just as a global news story. Everyone was really just sort of like, oh my god, imagine how horrific that is if they're alive.
Yeah.
Knowing that they're screwed.
I mean, everyone loves a rolling news, don't they? Everyone loves it. Breaking news,
But with this type
24/7 coverage.
with this type of character, like the Stockton Rush or whatever, and this Paolo guy,
McManaman.
yeah, it's this sort of figure of like brazen disregard for the rules and human life, and it's just like that's what's also fascinating, like
They think they're
the narcissism
pioneers.
or whatever the term would be, the kind of superiority thing, like. And what's really sad is, wasn't it in that submersible there was a son with his dad, and he didn't want to go. The dad like forced him to go.
billionaire and a son, yeah.
That was another thing. I think people, it's not great really because they are human beings, but I think a lot of people found it almost entertaining because they were these billionaires.
Was it two of them? I think was it two of them were like.
It
mega
wasn't
rich.
like, innocent everyday people. In people's eyes, it was like, well, if you're that rich and you're that stupid to go down in something, then you deserve to be imploded and smushed.
Right.
But there was sort of a distance that people could feel from them, that made people maybe a bit less, I don't know, it was more like entertainment, wasn't it? But it's just all really horrific.
Talking about not being like recent news, the whole OceanGate thing. Oh, let's bring up something that's very recent, very current. Let's talk about P. Diddy.
Oh, okay.
I'd like to talk about P. Diddy
Let's.
because, I mean,
Great guy. I'm joking.
what a musician!
No,
No,
God.
it's.
It's Epstein. It's Epstein again.
I just,
It's
I
Epstein
can't
again.
get my head around how someone can get away with it for so long. I mean, I know obviously it's that's very, you can explain it away with like the power, the money,
It's blackmail.
He's got terabytes of footage apparently of all these what they called them,
Freak off.
freak offs,
Baby oil.
all the 1,000 bottles of baby oil. And it's just like everyone knows this is going on. Like, why can't just one person just say
Because of
something?
power and threat and control.
Yeah, because you have
Some people have.
Well, Cat Williams is
Cat Williams, Eminem, in one of his songs, apparently he was like,
Oh, he spells
a lyric,
He says, "I'm an RAPER."
yeah.
I didn't just spell rapper without a P. Did
Diddy. He didn't just, yeah.
He didn't just spell rapper without a P. Did he?
Do you know what I mean? So people knew. It's like, again, Epstein all over again. People knew, but you're not going to speak out against these powerful people, otherwise you'll get rubbed out.
But I've got a feeling, right? The Epstein thing was massive, but then he died in suspicious circumstances.
Diddy isn't eating in prison because he's scared he's going to get poisoned,
I think that
apparently.
this is going to be fucking huge. I think it's going to be mega story. The trial is going to be like O.J. Simpson times 10. It's going to be wild.
Well, it's
The amount of people that must be shitting themselves
it's
now.
implicating a lot of people, like people wiping their social media and stuff. Because again, Little St. James Island, a lot of people went there, but maybe people weren't necessarily partaking in.
Well, Stephen Hawking went there.
So people might not have necessarily been partaking in the activity, but they were there. So it's still incriminating.
Yeah.
It's the same with like Pink. I don't know Pink personally. Seems like a nice gal. She's a family lady. I think she was there. So this is all damage control. I think they're all just wiping all their shit like, fuck, like I don't want to be associated with this, even though it's quite incriminating to delete all your shit. But
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? And I think, again, he's probably going to get suicided in prison because a lot of people don't want him to stand up in court just like Epstein. Where's Ghislaine Maxwell? What's she saying
Yeah.
nowadays?
Well, she's in prison.
Yeah, no, but is she going to trial? Like,
I don't
what's
know.
happening?
The other thing I was going to say is like it's very reminiscent of Savile, like the whole Jimmy Savile thing.
Everyone had rumours.
Because there was the rumours and stuff, and then once it all comes out, you look at old footage and you're like, oh my god,
So
it was
obvious.
so fucking
Right
obvious.
under your nose. Yeah.
Right under your nose. It's quite clear. And then there's clips of Diddy talking to Justin Bieber and all these kind of clips, and you're just thinking, knowing what you know now, it's like that's
But I think
so seedy.
this is also a consequence of the age of social media and like documentaries and stuff. Like
Yeah.
people are like that Nickelodeon documentary that we watched.
Wow. Quiet on set. It's
Quiet
called.
on Set, yeah, about Dan. We don't know anyone's names. Dan.
What was the
something? The guy in charge of Nickelodeon at the
For
time.
God's sake, yeah. What was
All
his
of
name?
these, I mean, everybody always knew being a child star is very problematic, very difficult.
Dan Schneider.
Dan Schneider. Like Amanda Bynes and Drake Bell and
Drake Bell was the big star, wasn't he? Was
Yeah.
it Josh and
Drake and Josh.
Drake and
They're
Josh.
all on the Amanda Show, which I watched when I was a kid on Nickelodeon. And this really, really dark underbelly of even Justin Bieber. Like he's had, well,
Sorry, I just thought I was saying that.
he's had a lot of sort of mental health issues and things like being thrust into the limelight so young is one thing, let alone what these gross men and people have been doing.
Yeah.
And people turning a blind eye to all of it. It's all very, very damaging, let alone the blackmail and the filming of people, you know, for power.
What was the
But I think with all of this exposure now that's happening, people are getting called out.
because the Nickelodeon thing as well was one of those where it's like, I can't believe they got away with this. There was was it Ariana Grande?
Yeah, really like suggestive.
Holding a potato and being like, if I squeeze it hard enough, will the juice come out? And it's just like, who's like, why has no one
Pedos.
clocked this? Like,
Yeah.
what was the other one? She was lying on a bed, like pouring water over herself, wasn't she?
Yeah.
And she was like 10 years old. And it's like, hello,
She's also
this is obviously written by a nonce.
Yeah, but she's obviously struggled a lot too. With, I mean, let alone with I keep saying let alone with the Manchester attack. You know, it's a lot for these young stars to deal with. I think, you know.
It makes me quite happy that because you get a lot of people that like they see these movie stars and pop stars and they assume that they're living this life of luxury, which they probably are to some extent. Obviously, they've got a lot of money.
But at what cost?
But at what cost? Yeah, it's like, is it really that worth it? Because Bieber looks like a broken man when you see him walking around in the streets. And no wonder, this is why I think he sold all of his music. It's like, just sell that, get 120 million or whatever he got paid, 200 million for his back catalogue.
I think he just wants to live
And
a
just-
wholesome life
And
with
just fuck off, yeah.
Hailey and the baby and such.
Because it's just constantly hearing like that Hollywood and like the music industry is just awful place full of nonces.
Yeah, basically.
It's like, why does everyone have to be a nonce?
Or something that I quite like to think about and read about and delve into, the whole sort of satanic angle.
Yeah.
That's me getting a bit deeper into my my tinfoil hat community.
Like the politicians,
Bohemian Grove.
like the owl thing. What's that? Like the in the woods dressed in white.
Bohemian Grove.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. Satanic rituals. Apparently
Yeah.
super secretive place, like a members only.
It's
I
like-
like to delve into all of that
Yeah.
a little bit with a pinch of salt, but
Here's a film
know.
recommendation then. Kill List. Kill List is if you if you don't mind a little bit of or like really graphic gore and satanic kind of stuff, and it's like an independent kind of low budget British film. It is phenomenal. I
I've
watched
heard the name.
Kill List. Yeah, it's two ex-Marines. You'll recognise the actors as well. They're famous. One of them's a Northern Irish guy. You'll recognise them.
James Nesbitt.
No, the other one. He's in a few things. He's in like a few films, whatever. Yeah, and they get like hired by this dude who wants them to. He gives them a kill list of like 4 or 5 people to bump off, and it's just really dark. And it's like the kills are pretty graphic. And in the end, it just all goes to shit, and it's like
I feel like I've read the synopsis, maybe. Of
I
this.
can't remember the guy who wrote it. He's like an English director. He's done a couple of quite gritty dramas. But yeah, Kill List is it's not one for the faint of heart.
I'm just like, you know, with all this stuff, it can be quite far-fetched. It can be quite, tinfoil hat, like.
Yeah.
But, you know, is it so hard to believe. Like, look at all the stuff that's coming out. And
I know. That's the thing.
you know, they're all in cahoots and all noncy, satanic paedophiles.
It's like I remember learning...
People just don't want, I think, to think about it because it's so horrendous. But.
I just remember learning at school when I did politics that there is that law. There's the law that, like, if there's like a news story that's happening within the government or within the royal family as well, they can legally, like, not tell anyone about it. Do you know what I mean? Like, the public are legally allowed to be, like, cut off from these.
Of course.
And it's 100 years. I think it's 100 years. If something happened, this is where the Jack the Ripper thing, when they say they thought that Jack the Ripper was the king's surgeon, and like a prince had impregnated a prostitute, so they sent the surgeon out to kill all the prostitutes that were aware of it. Like, if that was true, I mean, is it 100 years? Well, it's been 100 years now, hasn't it? Because that was the 1880s. So my anecdote is ruined, basically.
Why? I don't understand.
Because what I'm saying is, if something like that was to happen and that was true, the public can be kept from the public legally for 100 years. And then after 100 years, they can go, oh yeah, by the way, 100 years ago.
It's sort of like a statute of limitations.
Yeah, I think that must be it.
But surely anything can be kept from the public.
Yeah, but I'll have to look into that a bit more. But that's...
I am kind of a firm believer in, again, you always sound quite like crazy when you say stuff like this, but like a lot of stories in the press recently which have been like, who actually cares? I do believe are kind of distractions.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I really do believe that it's to distract us from actual atrocities that are happening, you know, geopolitically or, you know, anything, you know. The Diddy and the Epstein, all that kind of stuff, I think is real, obviously. But, like, there's, like, Philip Schofield. Of course, sure, not great what he was up to. What was it? Like, grooming and waiting for him to get until he was like 17, that intern or whatever at ITV.
I don't think it's so much that. Obviously, that's bad, but the guy was over 16, so technically, well, it's fine. It's all above board. It's all like legal. But I think it was how Schofield used his power to just then ruin that kid's career, wasn't it? I think that was the really
but
bad
I just mean the
thing
sort
about
of the scale of media coverage. It was like, you know, when Diana had died or something. It was like actually massive news, and I was just a bit like, there's bigger news. There's much bigger news than this. Why is this dominating every single media outlet? Because, you know, I think it's definitely media is mind control. It's population. You're controlling what the population are thinking.
It kind of reminds me, I don't know why this is kind of reminding me, but there was that woman, she was like the head of some newspaper in the UK, and on the morning of 9/11 when it happened, she was like, right, that's it. Air all of our dirty laundry now. Get it out now, because no one is going to know about it. Because everyone's going to be watching this. If we've skimmed money off the top illegally, let's admit it now, because no one's going to remember
There's bigger news going on, exactly.
And she got in trouble for that.
Well, I just think, whenever one of these non-things, like everyone's talking about, especially, again, on social media, it's getting engagement, it's getting people talking. It's like, why this story? There's other things happening. Yeah. You know. Is it to get people not talking about, like, Palestine or Ukraine or the environment, you know?
Yeah.
It's because we're not talking about those big issues. We're talking about Philip Schofield being a bit gross.
And now
in the bigger scheme of things, do we really care about what he's doing? Like, and now, he's going on an island. Yeah. It's all very Black Mirror to me. Like, why do we care about him on an island?
A place in the sun. I can't take that. That was on Instagram. SON.
Oh, God.
Okay, everybody. Well, Bianca's got to go back into the kitchen and finish the sausage rolls. I've got to open the pub because we're supposed to be open in 10 minutes. So we're going to wrap this episode up right now.
It ended up a bit of a...
What?
Don't know.
Okay, we'll do that again.
We don't need to. It's fine.
Okay. But anyway, so we're going to wrap this up now. But thank you again for watching. Please like and subscribe. We are at the dizzying heights of 41 subscribers now, I think. The views are going up nicely as well. So thank you very much for all of your support. So yeah, like, subscribe, share this. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook at Seven Sisters Pub.
Come to the pub.
Come down to Seven Sisters. Saturday nights after 10 p.m. Gin and tonic, rum and coke, vodka, whiskey, €4 a drink.
The bitchin' hour.
The bitchin' hour. It's fantastic. One of our friends was in here the other day. 20 quid, 5 gin and tonics. You cannot argue with that. You cannot argue with that. So come down here on Saturday nights.
Even if you double up,
yeah,
£8.
Yeah. Although we don't advise that. We drink responsibly. But yes, but thank you very much. What did you say?
Nothing.
Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and we shall see you again very soon. Ta-ta.
Thanks, bye.